Oh. Hi. I think that we allowed it to. Let's see here. Hello, guys.
See, I should have been flipped.
Flip what? He's doing his tech stuff, guys. Oh, look, he's doing his techie stuff. He's telling me that the shirts are not flipped. It's okay. All right, guys. So welcome to our second live stream. A lot of you are in town today. Hi, Austin. How are you, my love? Thank you so much. Yesterday, we just were so elated to be able to come on and speak with you guys. Didn't know halfway what we were doing. Today, we might know 2 ways halfway of not what we're doing. But we are here. And you see him making fun of me, right? But yesterday, it was so awesome to come and talk to you guys. And we wanted to come on and one, give people an opportunity that were not able to connect with us yesterday. Maybe we went live a little early in the day or in the afternoon. So we wanted to come on and give people an opportunity that did not get to connect with us yesterday. It wasn't planned a specific time. But you guys are our community, and we most certainly wanted to include you in that discussion. Also, I wanted to be able to touch bases on something that we were talking about on yesterday in regards to settling in and feeling like this is truly your home when you move here from, whether it's the States or what have you, as a descendant of Mother Africa. And so that is the basis of our discussion for today, settling in because Africa is home, and really being able to use this space as a safe space, if you will, for those that are in the diaspora and those that are here in South Africa to be able to collab and speak their minds and have questions answered in regards to that transition. One of the things that we're actively doing as the channel is growing is understanding that no matter how small we may think that we are, words give life, and you never know what it is that you may say that will inspire. Greetings, how are you? Inspire somebody else or resound to them something that God is speaking to them in their heart. And I know in this transition for us coming to South Africa, it was most certainly a guided journey. We can see just how if one little thing would have been changed here or there, it may not have happened. It definitely may not have happened as quickly, as smoothly as it did. And all of those things are important. And now with the country being a reality, us being here being our reality, and having this ongoing thing, as we were speaking yesterday, or I know even for me, constantly saying, I know I'm not from here, but I want, that is something that I think is really important to speak about. And also in deciding how we want to run this community, because that is what we were calling for, a community. And so while I love to do the videos and post them and the things that we think are important, this is something that I love the most, coming on, talking to you guys, having these conversations. Hopefully, as we move forward, we're able to, bring others on to have collaboration and conversation in relation to being here and traveling to the country permanently, whether it's as an individual or if it's families, because it is a big step, right? And so thank you so much, Poppy. Thank you so much. Welcome. I'm glad you see it as home. We welcome you wholeheartedly, and I hope all your dreams and inspirations are met. Thank you so much, Live and Wisdom. I appreciate that. So let's dive into that discussion, right? One, as we are deciding how we want to present to you all. Like we said, you are our community. So we wanted to know what you guys think in regards to these types of conversations, going live, doing the live stream. It seemed kind of like equally as much. You guys really like the live streams and coming on and having these conversations kind of like one-on-one. We noticed in some of our other videos, the comments you guys are asking, for more, vlogish type content, I guess, more like day in the life of. And so that is something that we wanted to present to the community. And we'll be monitoring the comments both on this live stream. We'll make sure that they can replay as well as later on, as you guys are able to read the recording later, the stream later, to let us know what you think, as well as what types of things that you think are important for those of us that are traveling here to know, and vice versa, those that are coming here, what you think is important, or important discussions for those that are native to South Africa to know or to understand about you. This is a place to come and to have collaborative, critical thinking in regards to the meeting of human resources, those whose family lines may have been ripped from Mother Africa's soil, and those that were able to stay and carry on the legacies until those like ourselves are able to return home. And so that is something that we really want to allow to happen in this space. And we're interested to know what you guys think. So let's say it really depends on the type of audience you want. I suggest you do vlogs and show the beauty of South Africa to attract other Americans who are afraid or skeptical. Absolutely. That is absolutely very important to us. And one of the things that we're trying to bring to earth with the tour guide series. We have some things set up, everything from some of the beautiful art museums to, of course, more local central Joburg areas. And we definitely want to explore and go outside of the Gauteng province and draw in from those other experiences. Thank you so much for the likes, guys. I know that Usty's gonna be like honing on us soon. Guys, your likes most certainly are very important to the stream, and it helps to keep us going and to bring awareness. Please like and share the stream. Subscribe if you have not already, and definitely leave us your comments as we're moving along. So I think that it became very noteworthy that there was these feelings of, I won't say like anxiety, but it's almost like as warm and as welcome as we have been accepted. It's kind of like this, almost like, I won't say fish out of water, but it's this sense of yearning to understand where you fit in, where you connect. I was sharing with someone else yesterday how it's amazing to me that when we go out, others in South Africa are able to look at us and kind of say, this is who you look like. You look like you come from this tribe or that tribe. And of course, there's a level of speculation about that. However, that is something that those who are in the U.S., Africans living there, descendants of Mother Africa, we don't have. So you have things like ancestry, or what is it, DNA? What is it? 1, 2, 3, or something like that. 23andMe is such a rave over the last couple of years because people, I believe, are desperate to make those connections. You want to know what you're coming home to. You want to know, who you belong to, who you look like. You see the same thing for people that either maybe were adopted or lost parents at a young age, and they yearn to understand and to know what and whom they came from. And we very much so are the same. And I think it's important to have that conversation moving forward because as more people begin to come home, if we don't have cognizant conversations about where we fit in or how we connect, I think you may, okay, yes, 23andMe. Yeah, that's what it's called, 23andMe. You can have these instances where, like, I am here and I'm voicing that opinion. Hey, I am trying to, I'm also here, got it in between. Thank you so much, Solani. I appreciate you. How do I settle in? Is what I'm saying. Like, how do I settle in? And you guys have been so awesome in continuing to express, no, you are African. You do fit in. This is your land. This is where you come from. This is your birthright. And that's amazing. But what about those that don't express that? Or what about those that are not here yet? And maybe that's what they're thinking. And so that's what we want to do with this particular space when we kind of bring the light and have these kind of town hall type of conversations in regards to our transition here and what it is that we were seeking. Because what I'm seeking is not necessarily what you were seeking, even though we came together. Because, like, how do you think, like, from a Black male perspective, how has this experience and you're settling in, it seems like you kind of envelope it better, or maybe you just don't show your uneasiness as much.
Yeah, I don't particularly like to show those types of emotional downsides, if you will, about being here. Being a Black man or whatever.
Can you guys hear him? He speaks slow. Can you hear him okay? Your family and friends feel about you guys living all the way across another continent. Seeing that. How do they feel about us living across in another continent?
That don't bother me at all.
How do they feel? He's asking, how do they feel?
Who, the kids?
How does family and friends feel about you guys living all the way across another continent?
I don't really talk to my family, so I don't know how they feel, honestly. But some friends or whatever we consider family members, they're a little upset that we're not there. But at the same time, it was like we was there, but we was like kind of that long distance relationship. We there, but you don't come to see us. But when we're gone, you want to call us and talk to us, and that's pretty much how it is.
Yeah, listen, that part, Talani, he treats every word as if it's hard labor. That's exactly what I deal with. So yes, like, he loves being behind the scene, y'all. So bring him out. Community, call him out. Because he has so much to say, and it's like, I'm always the one talking, and it's like he has so much to say and so much to offer. that's just who Mr. Gary is. I think here's the thing, and this is another reason why I believe that we were able to make the transition. Unfortunately, I believe that in America, one of the things that happened as a result of the slave trade, families were ripped to shreds, just gone, non-existent. And although things are overcome, just like in South Africa, it's resemblance of things that or residuals of things that occurred from the past. It's the same way. So you can see a lot of times recurring in history of families where they're not quite as close knit. And one of the things that's also the culture of the States is kind of like every man for himself.
Yeah.
You know, you're on your own. You can have families. I literally was staying when I think we left Arizona. We left Maryland, went to Arizona. It was just us. Others came that were not blood family to transition to come into like a better space. We saw them more than we saw our own blood, our own family, and it's easy to kind of like he just blows it off like, okay, whatever. I see them, I don't. For me, it's not as easy, you know.
Well, it's also the fact of how you grew up versus how I grew up. So I'm easy to walk away from something than you are.
But I don't think it's just walking away from things. I think it is just that true nature, maybe just me of being a woman, that I don't know. But I see women that are like that too. It's just like whatever, and they don't even care. I'm very community and family oriented. I truly care about the people, both blood related and not, the people that I'm doing life with, like you all. I am doing life with you. If I know your name, you know, we're having conversation, words, that is life. So I kind of carry things a little bit different. But what I'm saying in regards to like with what Mr. Gary is saying is that with us coming here, there wasn't always that interaction, if you will. And there was also sometimes this level of, I don't know if it was like an awkward form of flattery, but disdain, if you will. It's almost like if you progress to do better, you've set yourself apart, or if you've somehow set your sights higher for something, if you're visionary, sometimes it can be seen, oh no, Poppy, he's not shy at all. Not at all. No, he's not shy. That it's, what's the word? It's almost seen as negative sometimes. And not in all families, we're not saying this. We're speaking, this is our vlog. This is our space to kind of allow you guys to get to know us a little bit more and kind of the basis behind the little, you know, cute videos that bring information that we think are pertinent. But these are things that are real, tangible for those that are in the position of thinking, of leaving and coming here. And that's one of the things that is very pertinent, is kind of this disconnect that happens, right? Finding where you fit in, and even being in the States, born and raised, blood family being there, it's very normal to still kind of like be fluttering about like there's no connection. And so when you have people already experiencing that to some degree, and then they come here, I think it's important to recognize that cognitive process, because we may not even realize that we're going through that. but it will impact us here. It will impact our engagement. It will impact our viability here, if you will. Somebody made a comment. I want to actually read it because it was very important to me. And I thought, let's see, they made a very, very important comment. It was speaking somewhere along the lines of us, those that are coming here are coming back to bring information, where it was a very hard thing that happened with us being taken, our ancestors being taken, that we're given the opportunity now to come back and to share the information and the knowledge and the things that we've learned here in Mother Africa to progress us forward. I want to read it exactly how they read it while I'm looking for it. While I'm looking for this, how do you think that it is possible to sustain here if you don't actually make connections? Like, if I know for us when we came, we did kind of meet some people before we got here and we had some communications, but there's also that thing where there's, and I don't know, maybe you guys can speak to this. There's sometimes lack of follow through, and I think that's just something that we share. That can be read one way or the other. But like, how important do you think that is to establish some sort of funnel or connection with Mother Africa, with South Africa specifically, to open up the idea of people coming?
Honestly, I may not think it's relevant. However, just like you said, we met some people, but the lack of follow through, which a lot of people that we've experienced have that that failure to follow through what they said they're going to do, even though you're in constant communication with them. Um, the I mean, it's just you just need to follow through. That's pretty much what I've seen anyway. That's different than what's in the States. People in the States, they call you 20,000 times a day just to collect what, $5 from you. But here they'll let you go, weeks and without you even realizing, oh, you owe $5. Now it's $35, $40, just simply because they didn't follow back with you or whatever the case may be. What I believe, to keep it, simple, to bring it back to Mother Africa, I would say that people have to understand that if you want to, bring the American culture over here to increase the money flow, I would say, you have to adapt to some things that they do, that we do, in the States versus what you guys do here in SA, where we are used to constant communication, better, or I'm gonna say advanced technologies, better than what they have here. But the people here are still used to things from the past. Things from the past may not always be good. But when you want to bring people like myself who knows things about the technology background or whatever the case may be, you have to be versatile and be able to communicate and literally hear or listen to what they have to say, because some things you may not know.
So, let's see. Yes, okay, so it says, have you linked up with other Americans living here?
Yes, we have.
Not Americans.
Yes, we have. We've
Well,
linked
oh yeah,
up with
that's
a
right. We
few
did.
Americans,
There's
but
been a few, right? That's true.
they wasn't like, on the same path, if you will, as far as connecting with the South African roots and culture, if you will.
It's more so some of the people that we've met it's been more so
they only here for work, if you will.
Or it's just on that basis of economic relief. There's some sort of income stream in the States. Of course, we understand the economic difference in terms of the strength of the dollar here. And here's my thing with that. If that's where you are, that's fine. But if you're only coming to get what you can take from Mother Africa and you're not giving into or pouring into her, you're doing what many would say resulted in Pan-Africanism. Now, I'm not trying to go into a tangent about that. What I am saying is that when we came, I know for me specifically, like we could have come on a retirement visa, if you will, and only came and lived off of the land and took advantage of all the beautiful things and what our economic situation can afford us here. But it was really important for me to come on a critical skills visa versus a retirement visa, which it was actually easier to do a retirement visa. Just show whatever your price tag is, that you can afford it, you can take care of yourselves, and boom. But to me, I thought the best way to learn the country was to connect with the people. And how better than to do that than the working class? To go in and out every day. That's how you understand culture. You understand, social norms. You understand just the process of things that happen and those organic conversations that happen at the water cooler, if you will. That's how you learn things. That's how you learn culture. That's how you grow. You don't do that. If I'm really honest, like our children right now probably get more interaction outside than we do, because it's us. So you guys are our interaction for the most part right now, because we don't have to go and clock in somewhere for work, if you will. And we learn through our experiences and our connections with you. And that's just how we view it. Maybe that's just me. But I feel like if we're coming, we should be also bearing gifts. We should be coming back and bringing back things, whether it's knowledge, whether it's, resources, whatever it is, to pour back into the areas, the funnels of our country that was taken away. Like I said yesterday, it saddens me when we tell people we moved here permanently from the States, and it's this utter shock. Like, why would you come here? Why would you leave the States? We want to get out of here. Why would you want to come here? That's a big deal for us. Let's see. In all honesty, the managing expectations is a must, because the yearning or acceptance of being African can be exploited by bad actors. We are tribal rather than being African. Very true.
Very true.
That's true. And I think that sums it up the best, Live in Wisdom, because you will have those bad actors that will exploit those that are coming with all hearts revealed, trying to connect and yearning to find that belonging and that connection back here. There's levels of hurt that happen because of historical events, whether it was apartheid, whether it was the transatlantic slave trade, whether it was Jim Crow, whatever it was, things that are going on now, these social injustices, literally this past week, Mr. Gary left out of the house, going to grab something. He literally was going to do me a favor. He left out to go and put some money in the bank to take care of a bill, right? Before it came out. And we forgot to do it. He ran out in a hurry, trying to get there before it closed, left his wallet. We had a neighbor.
No, I had my wallet. It was a section of my
Oh,
wallet.
right. Because, you guys know how you have those wallets that you could take a section out and you don't have the whole big bulky part. Well, he had taken the little part out that had his ID and left it in the house. And he had his big wallet with him. So he's out, and I guess they were doing one of those random checks.
The routine stops.
Right. And so what happened?
Nothing. They just made me wait till someone brought my ID or passport.
Now, I know that probably sounds like not a big deal, right? He got pulled over, a random check. You all that are in South Africa know what that is. For those that are not in South Africa, they kind of do these random security or police checks, either on the highway or what have you. You pull over, somebody will come up, they might ask you, or what are you doing, where are you going, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes they actually like to talk, especially if they know you're not from here. They'll ask you questions and and you just be polite, answer the questions and keep it moving. Well, Mr. Gary did not have his ID. So I'm like, and I'm sitting and I'm like, what's taking him so long? Well, maybe he went to the store, but now I'm like, after doing whatever I was doing, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's getting late now. Nothing's even still open. Where's he at? So I get a call, and it's our neighbor.
Actually, it was me.
Well, yeah, it was you, actually. But mind you, the day before, he had left his phone in the house. Okay? He left his phone in the house. So literally, he had his phone, no wallet. He called me and was like, hey, our neighbor's on his way to the gate. You need to give him the passport or ID, whatever. And in my gut, like right here, y'all, I was like, what do you mean the police has you? But that's like force of habit, right? From the States anyway. It's like, oh crap, what do you mean? And there was this level of anxiety. It was just building. And then my oldest two children came in and they're like, Mom, what's wrong? And like, I was like, I need to hurry up. And I told my son to hurry up and get the paperwork so that he could give it to the neighbor. And my son's like jetting. Like I could see kind of like the underlying panic in them too. And he gets back to the house or he's on the phone. I'm like, I didn't want to hang up the phone. I'm like, you're going to stay on this phone with me. I want to make sure you're okay. He's like, no, it's fine. I'm good. It's fine. And I'm like freaking out. Well, here's the thing. That is a residual of what's going on in the States. You don't just get pulled over and it's like, oh, it's no big deal. People get killed that look like us, that look like you, for far less, doing everything you're supposed to, let alone you don't have your ID. Like I was so angry at him. I was like, are you kidding me? You're telling me that you left out of here, you don't have no ID on you? Are you crazy?
I had an ID with me. It was on my phone though.
Let's talk about that. So you showed the officer your ID on your phone. The fact that you felt comfortable enough to reach down somewhere.
No. My phone was in my hand.
You had your phone in your hand.
I had my phone in my hand and the wheel in the other hand.
So as soon as he pulled you over, you pulled the phone out.
Yep.
But even that, guys, is like, do you just automatically pull your phones out in South Africa when the police pull you over? I don't think so.
No.
In the States, yes, because it can go wrong real quick. And the thing about it is they will use any and everything to discredit you and literally make it like you deserve to be killed.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that you went for your phone. Like we still ride with a GoPro. We would ride around with a GoPro on our car just because you never know. And if there's nobody or at least something electronic or something to tell a tale, nobody will ever know. And I mean, from what we're seeing now, you can see blatantly what happened. Anytime you can literally have a man that's going through a mental health break whose family calls to gain help. and officers, 6 or 7 of them, see this man literally naked in the streets having a mental health breakdown and put a bag over his head because he was spitting and kneel on him and suffocate him, and he dies. So, you know, this conversation is needed. This space right here, in addition to the videos, is needed because it is important to understand where these levels of anxiety come from. And for those that are coming, there's a certain amount of hurt and uncertainty. So when I'm saying, oh my God, this is so beautiful, like when you guys are saying things like, welcome home, we love you, and that's genuine. Sometimes we don't know how to accept that. We don't know how to put that jacket of love on because it's like, what am I going to do for them to take it? Like, you know, do they really see us? Does that make sense? Like, that's a big deal. How would you how would you describe your experience so far? Would you stay or you have reservations? I don't have reservations.
Yeah, no.
I think we're just right where we're saying, which is the point of this video. Africa is home. Like, I woke up this morning with that resounding from that
bird,
the African alarm. I don't care what y'all say. Y'all gonna leave my hadida alone. I love it. Maybe I'm crazy. Give me a couple months, maybe get on my nerves. I did go look at that video. With Pharrell, and he was like flipping out, like, what is that bird? I love the hadida birds. Leave me alone. I'll go get somebody to make me a picture of a hadida bird. And I like that bird. Y'all leave me alone. But that's what I woke up with. Aside from the hadida bird, I woke up and I was saying, you know, you're right. Like, this is home. Like, I don't have to feel like I have to prove myself that I belong here. You know what I mean? But it still was meant to be a place of discussion, that may be something that others that are coming, that have come, is experienced or is experiencing or has experienced. So connections are vital. It is not the land or location that makes the connection. It is the people you meet. Very much so. That's very, very true living wisdom. Africa is rising. Absolutely. Yes, your children get more interactions with the locals, and that's so beautiful. I see your hearts. You guys want to pour yourselves into this country. That is absolutely true. That is genuine. Like we said, this channel, this is not our space. To us, this is a space that God has given us. You know, even you guys sent this channel to 1,000 subscribers from February the 4th. And I'll be very honest. I was talking to my husband about this morning. I was kind of in this space and I was like, how in the world am I here on a critical skills visa and we haven't done any interviews? It's all these jobs available. And I started saying, you know what? God, I've never had this happen. This is weird. It's new. And at first I was in this space like, maybe because I, all of my experiences in the States or whatever, but I'm like, that doesn't make sense. They said they need critical skills. I'm more than qualified. What's going on? And one day I was like kind of at our cottage and I was just kind of praying and talking. And I just had this calm to come out and to go out into our garden. And that was the video, Why I Love Living in South Africa. I think I might have posted that one the same day or the day after or before the one that you guys loved when you got to meet our oldest 2 children, Shawn Michael and Soul. And it wasn't edited right. I think I was all over the place. But what I think came through in that, the space that I was in when I made that video was, I love the peace that I feel here. I don't understand everything. I don't speak the language. I don't quite know where I fit in yet, but I love it here. I love it here. And I don't want to keep feeling like this teeter-totter of being in this from the States, but being here. I want to settle. And that's where that video came from. And you guys, that was like February the 4th that got posted. The channel got 971 subscribers in less than a week and a half. Now, you guys rock, but I also believe in divine opportunity. I believe that when God wants to open up a space of healing, and when there's an opportunity and he wants to do something, then that most certainly will happen. And I think that that's what he wants to do with his space, with this space. And so that is one of the reasons why I came on and I said, hey, what do you guys think? How do you feel? What do you want to talk about in this space? What are you thinking about in terms of interactions with others that are coming, your thoughts, your feelings? All of that is important, because that's what I'm feeling that is supposed to happen in this space. I want to read this before I forget. Law-abiding citizen said, I believe all the African Americans abroad, God sent them to acquire much knowledge, skill, and etiquette to bring it back home. You are messengers, and now it's time to implement what you learned abroad. Your coming here is divine, and he brought you here. It shall sustain you. Keep on keeping on. The doors of channels are opening. That gave me chills when I read it, because we were literally sitting having a conversation, and I was talking to him about what was resounding with me, what's been happening, the channel, the opportunity, the space, the healing. And I just happened to pick the phone up, and that comment was there. And, Mr. Gary, you guys will learn, he has this thing with the number 3. He loves it. He loves the Trinity. And so it was just even more satisfying for me, because even though I didn't do it for that, literally the message had been posted 3 minutes prior to. So while we're having this conversation, law-abiding citizen posts this message, speaking to the effect of what we're saying. So yeah, let's see. Well, I can only imagine, Ms. Gary. This is why I urge other South Africans to be compassionate, but please do not worry. The police here are not trigger happy. You can reach wherever. Okay. Have you ever felt my life being threatened? Have you never felt my life being threatened by
Oh, they have never felt their life.
That's amazing, living wisdom, that you've never been afraid of the police, but that's not the truth. That's not our truth in the States. I personally have dealt with that. You call for the police to help, and the people that are calling for help become victimized. It happens. It's real.
Yep.
And that level of trauma doesn't just go away because you move. It doesn't, right? So when we hear you guys saying, watch out for the robbers, well, I can deal with a robber because he's real. He stick up kid. Okay, give me what you got. Here you go. I know what you want, but these are the people that's supposed to help us, protect us, bring order, right? And we're not saying this is everyone. I have law enforcement in my family, a lot of them actually, and I know them, and I know the people that they are. So I'm not saying it's everybody, but there's a huge problem in the States. There's a collectively huge problem with the norms on what can be gotten away with human life, especially Black human life in the States. So it's important that when you hear people saying they're coming here, I'm not going to do that. We're coming because you go home when you don't feel safe. You go home when you don't feel safe. And we may be one of the few that have come into this space, without those check marks, without those understandings, without those knowings. But somebody, thanks, babe, somebody has to be the first. And it's not easy being the first, right? But it's very palpable pain right now, guys, in the States. It's very real. And I know that there is a lot that is going on in South Africa. We know that. Things that we don't understand, things that we don't begin to try and say that we figured out. But it's things that you can deal with. Load shedding. Nobody's dying from load shedding. We can come together collectively and bring our strengths together and figure that out. And when I say that, it doesn't mean that it's not a problem. It doesn't mean that I'm okay with knowing that, in Bryanston or Santon, you have less hours or less times that you have load shedding versus in areas that are more economically savage and they just take it for extended periods of times and it's like you don't matter. I'm not okay with that. I get myself in trouble all the time because I'm always trying to champion the overlooked, the underdog. I get myself in trouble with that all the time. But you're not being killed because of what you look like. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening. I can't see. Let's see. I'm sorry, guys. Let's see. Let's see. I've never felt. Let's see. Oh yeah, that was upstate New York. Right. What was Mr. Gary with the police? Please kindly.
Oh, I was with the police for a random stop. Nothing. Just it's a roadblock. They doing checks, make sure everything is okay. It was around 10 o'clock, so around time everything was shutting down. Terms of tech, what have I noticed you guys are lagging? You guys are not lagging any tech. It's not so much as the tech that you're lagging. It's more so how they're using the tech is the issue. It's completely different than how we use it in the States.
I think one of the things, so let's kind of deal with that a little bit more because I ask some of these questions all the time in evaluating us. People might not like me for saying it, but I'm going to call them out. This morning, I was so excited to watch the new Coming to America, okay? I was so excited. I saw that when I was a kid. I wanted to see it. And it was released on Amazon Prime or whatever.
We saw the original and we saw the sequel.
We looked at the Coming to, so the number 2. So the sequel for Coming to America with Eddie Murphy and, all that thing. Oh my gosh. I was so disappointed. It was cute, but I was disappointed. Here's the thing, and this rings true. I'm only bringing this up because we talked about it yesterday. Awesome budget. High name actors. Filming was what you expect from an American film. But
the filming was good. The cuts was good. The transitions was good. But
what was wanting? What was lacking?
It was the comedic timing in which the writer decided.
But not just the comedy, but
it was how they played it out. It wasn't matching up to what I had imagined.
So maybe that was a bad example because it was trying to live up to the first one. But here's what I'm expressing. The show we were talking about yesterday, How to Ruin Christmas, the wedding edition or whatever. To me, I thought it was filmed very well. It wasn't, what's the word, predictable. It had an awesome storyline and it was great. I believe that The technology and things that are needed here are here. What I'm trying to figure out, and I think what Mr. Gary is trying to figure out, is when you guys are saying the level of corruption, because we kind of always hear there's corruption here. Are you saying that there is lack of investment into the industry of entertainment, or editing? Or I guess that's what we're trying to understand, because I think what we're saying is that it's the finished product is what we're seeing. You're not seeing the level of cuts, the editing, maybe it's the storyboarding. It actually has amazing storylines.
The storyline was good.
The storylines, the content, the level of the actors. I've seen shows, I mean, the recording is horrible, but the storyline, the embodiment of the characters by the actors, they're amazing. And I'm like, put them in some of these roles. Like, what is going on here? So I just think, is it just the exposure? Is it budgeting? I don't know. We haven't really did a lot. Maybe that's something we need to look into in regards to the true entertainment circle of South Africa. But see, that's also maybe something we have to overcome. Like in the States, it's such a niched area of who can be involved with what, and even the actors and the actresses, they speak to the effect of having the creative voice to be able to make the type of content that they want to make. Because the powers that be, they don't feel like our stories, Black stories, sell unless we're doping or a crack fiend or an abusive husband or something like that. That's what they like to show us. Or if it is a storyline with somebody doing positive, it's not long before you're either portraying them as doing something deceitful, or the character has lacked poor morals or conscience or something. It's something to the effect. So yeah, I don't know.
That's it. Okay.
She said he's saying, please, Connie, let you tell the story. In terms of so Thalune, did he answer it? Because I mean, to him it was no big deal. I was the one freaking out, but for him there, it didn't nothing happened, which is the thing, that nothing happened. But wouldn't have been the case in the States. You definitely would have walked away from the situation feeling like it
was also how he approached me, so it was okay. So, yeah.
Which was how? I think they want to hear your voice.
Like, I mean, he approached me. I mean, like, hey, you from America, blah blah blah. You don't look like you from here. This, that, and third. I was like, how do you figure that? Just by looking at you. Do you have your passport or driver's license? No. I left out, look at my wallet. And he's like, oh, I can show you my phone because I have it in my hand. Blah blah blah. He said it was fine. It's cool. Then he started making jokes or whatever about driving without a license, which I felt was okay, which kept me in a good mindset, because in my head, my mind was somewhere else as far as in the States is concerned. But
so you were uncomfortable?
No, I was uncomfortable when I had got pulled over. But after he started talking, then I got more comfortable with how he was talking, how he communicated.
Mm-hmm.
Then that was it.
So he was in the same place as me. He was scared first, y'all. He didn't know.
Oh, I wasn't scared. At first, I was angry.
Oh, you was angry. They said, how are you finding the weather? I think the weather is beautiful. I was expecting it to be hotter.
What I don't appreciate about this daggone South African weather is if y'all gonna have us washing clothes and not using the dryer, if we got to put it on the line, why the hell it rains so daggone much out here? I don't appreciate that.
It's the greenery.
Mm-mm.
You have to figure it out. I mean, we do use it. I like the sun dried clothes.
Yes, I do, but it's kind of disrespectful. As many times I wash clothes, I gotta turn around and rewash it again because the birds get to it, then the rain get to it. It's just like it's a bad mixture.
That's true. I think it's better timing. And we also don't really watch TV, so maybe we need to invest in looking at the horoscope. Living Wisdom said, I'm curious, what would you like us South Africans to do to make the transition easier?
Communication.
But you can't just say communication. I think one of the things, so here's the thing. I think the whole year, the return thing that most people equate to Ghana was amazing call. The national call by the leadership was amazing. It was incredible. But in order for it not to be trickled down to just a marketing ploy, if you will, and this is the business mindset of me, so don't mind me. I just believe that there has to be more education in regards to what is to be expected. And and setting things up, because if you actually go and you look into that process of being with migrating to Ghana, there's a lot of shortfalls that if you've made this national declaration for those in the diaspora to return, there should be some sort of channels that are set up to kind of help streamline that in communication of information. I think that those are areas both that South Africa can champion. For instance, we're saying from our national leadership that there is critical areas that we need skills. There are Americans, especially Black Americans, educated Black Americans, that can come and provide those skills. Areas of engineering and tech and, medical field, all of these different areas, business, whether it's ownership or management, what have you, creating some sort of streamlined program where there is, it's not such an abrasiveness. That's something I'll talk about a whole nother time. Because when we were coming, I'm sorry, it was almost like at the consulate in the States, it was almost this level of, I literally had the lady tell me that it's almost like I was supposed to like bow down to her because she was processing my application.
Think I want to upload that video too.
And you have a video? Oh wow. Anyway, yeah, it was appalling. And getting the information, it was things all over the place. Trying to get information from Department of Home Affairs, it's not easy at all. Nope. And that's nothing specific to us. That's just maybe the way things are done. So there's a certain level of administrative excellence that is definitely needed in regards to communicating information, because the average American, they're not going to deal with that. They're not used to that. People like us that want to come here, you're going to fight through. But if you're trying to draw people that are going to, maybe they're not looking for those spaces of, I want to connect with the roots, but they're more on the side of, I have skills, they're willing to pay for them. There needs to be a transition in between how to make that happen. And there has to be a level of professionalism, administrative excellence, and timeliness in order to make that happen. And I don't think that's just coming from the States. I just think that that is something that administration and government has an issue with to a certain level everywhere. But that was a major downfall, that it was a lot of times in that process where it was like, do we want to do this? And if it wasn't for our experience here, meeting the people, being in the country, it definitely would have turned us off completely. Let's see. were the police competent? Did they behave professionally? Were they talking to him like a brother?
Yes, they was. Well, all three of them acted competent. They had the officer, you had the supervisor, and then I guess his partner or whatever case may be. But they all acted competent. They all talked and communicated to me like a brother.
That's good. Okay. Like a brother. Any thoughts on our pop culture, music, fashion, media? We already know most of our TV productions. We didn't say most of it. I think it's some amazing music, and the fashion is beautiful.
Fashion is amazing.
It's absolutely amazing. There's, you can find everything from couture to just, everyday things. It's not like every store is the same. I mean, you have your big box places, but it's not like every single thing is exactly the same. For the most part, whatever your style is, you can find it. I think it's more so just I think that's a bit different for us too, because
unless you go to Dragon City or like Randburg Shopping Center, everything looks pretty much the same.
Well, but there's also a lot of places we haven't visited. It's a lot here that we just haven't seen yet. So I think it's amazing. The offering is amazing. It's just we're not used to things being so closed off. So here, everything, you can have so much in the area, but it's behind these walls, and so that's a little bit different to navigate as well. That you have to learn with being in South Africa. Let's see.
Oh, you already answered that.
Be okay, Miss Cemetery is healing. It's bad that I can feel it in your voice. It's bad that I can feel it in your voice to be killed by the people who are supposed to serve and protect. We have seen many of our people killed because the white man got fearful. Very much so. Very much so. Have you guys watched Blood and Water? It's a South African series on Netflix.
I watched 2 episodes of that, and it wasn't really interesting to me. I'm sorry. The storyline wasn't really what I expected, if you will.
But maybe we could watch it because we're coming from a different place. So
yeah.
Were you just looking at it with the editing, or were you looking at the story?
The story.
Okay. We need to maybe look at it again. Austin, guys, Austin is fussing at us. Please help us keep the likes up. That's what we have 43 people in the room. If you could please like the stream, share, subscribe if you have not. That definitely helps us. I appreciate you. Thank you. You guys critiquing Coming to America too is interesting because as a South African, I wouldn't want to offend African Americans and the hard work they invested into the project. So
Look here.
There you go.
Look here. I've been watching like film and like TV shows my entire life. I've always, even when I was a kid, I always knew I would be like, I like the behind the scenes part, the creation of it, which I love. I didn't know I was going to, go back to school to do it until I got of age, and wanted to change my life, if you will, and work in a field that I love, where I realized that just because you're from here don't mean you can't, critique it. There's a lot of things about the States that
we say all the time.
I don't like this or don't like that. I have no issue with that. That's the way I grew up. Like, I don't care if you like it or not. It's called criticism. Like I mentioned this to my wife and told her that because someone asked me to help them create their YouTube channel. Help them, do some editing for their YouTube channel, and he said he wanted to do all of the filming himself. So I said, "Oh, okay, go ahead and do it." Brought me all the files or whatever, and I'm telling them like, first, no, you can't do it like this because what you have in the background does not appeal to what everyone wants to look at, like dirty dishes or stuff in your background, whatever the case may be. you can't have the camera facing this, don't be showing this. And he got upset with me because I was letting him know, like, if you want me to edit your film or your videos, don't get upset about how I critique it, especially when I work in the film industry and you have no idea on what to do. Don't know anything about cuts or transitions or filters, logos, anything like that as far as a creative aspect. But when he asked me to do it, I was like, "Yay, okay, cool, I can help you out. That's fine." But then he got upset, and he never asked me to do anything else in regards to it, which it was kind of funny to me, and I was kind of relieved, if you will. I was like, if you can't accept creative criticism, how do you expect to get better at
Right.
your channel or whatever you're trying to do?
Right. And
Sorry,
I think that's what we're trying to say. Like I thought that in terms of like the actors, the what do you call it? The costumes, or the level of the recording, that was great. That was standard of the US. What we're saying though is that just in the short time of being here, we've seen things with far better storyline and more interesting. I feel like we were watching it because we were waiting for it to get better, and all for the nostalgia of we've been waiting to see this. I was watching it at 5:40.
I'm sorry, based on my view of the trailer, I didn't like it. I knew I wasn't gonna like it based off the trailer.
And if I'm honest, I was a little skeptical, but I really loved the first one and I was excited to see it. At any rate, I think that it also, like I said, it may not have been a fair comparison because there was some things that was just like the comic punchline of some things. It was just a little bit off. But what I was comparing in regards to, this is something that had anticipation, really, high name actors, actresses, the filming equipment was there, but I've seen things produced in South Africa far more interesting.
Right.
So when we're having a conversation about like the comment, what can we do better? It's not the talent. It's not, I don't think it's just budgeting. I was bringing to his attention earlier, there's he's foul, right? But the story where they talked about Dolomite when they were doing the filming for that and kind of portraying how he made his first films. He didn't know what in the world he was doing. For those of you that don't know what Dolomite is, if you go look and be careful because he's a little ratchet. But the point is, he didn't know what he was doing, but he had an idea of excellence, and he went up against the big companies, the big producers that wouldn't produce his films, and rocked it. He did awesome. I think that South Africa can do that and become a staple and can bring amazing content for the Black community, not just here, but abroad, and get real life recognition internationally and locally for the level of talent and the stories that's available. It's untapped. It's untapped talent here. Are you guys really religious to this extent? We are Christian,
yes,
and we will have a glass of wine here or there. We're not drinkers, so to speak, though. Just in time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's Friday and South Africans are with coolers. I would understand if you guys are not into alcohol. Administrative process here, a headache. Locals also find it annoying. So then how do we begin to progress in that? That is something that most certainly will have to improve if we're wanting people to come here.
Definitely.
It's not fear, it's hate. Oh, wow. What's your thoughts on architecture and culture?
Oh, I love it. The architecture and culture, I love it. That's pretty much how I'm gonna sum it up. I just love it.
I think it's I think a lot of people that come, whatever preconceived notions they have, they're in awe at the architecture because unfortunately there is this, I don't know where the stigma came from that it's huts and mud houses. And
there is in some areas.
yes, but that's not the norm.
You're right.
That's not the norm when you come here. It's beautiful architecture, you know, it's greenery, it's all of those things. It's, to me, when I first came here, I felt like it looked like I went to a city in California. It was really beautiful when I saw the architecture. The Mall of Africa, yeah, them prices look American to me, and they definitely know who their target market is, okay? But to see that place as you're driving up to it, that didn't just happen. That level of architecture, the engineering of the building, the eyesight, the lighting, all of that screams first world to me. It's you know, and it's so many different places here. The Blantons show it all the time, and I think they champion and excel at showing the beautiful things of South Africa, because there has to be somebody that's combating the negative stereotypes of what South Africa looks like. And that's just not true at all. What were your experiences with white people here versus those in the States? Unmentionable. Oh, more clarity about the pipeline gospel competition. Pipeline gospel competition?
And what are you referring to?
Are you talking about Bigo?
Pipeline gospel? No, that ain't.
I don't know. A law-abiding citizen. Tell us what you're talking about. It's been unmentionable. There's been no interactions with white people where it's like, there's been interactions with other with Black Africans where it's kind of like, where are you from? You know, there's been those kind of awkward moments.
And I know a lot for me personally. It's you know, I'm okay with it, but you know, for me, coming from where I'm from, if someone stare at you, you know, you have the right to stare back at them. You know, of course, because we was with that casino,
Monte Casino.
Yeah, not too far. We was there, and my wife was ordering some pizza or whatever.
With the kids, yeah.
We took the kids out, and it was this guy with his two children. There was a girl and a boy, and all three of them was just staring at me. Just all I could do is just look at him. Just look at him, just stare at him. And I said, "Can I help you?" And he turned his head and pushed.
But they do that to him more so than me. I don't get that. You know what I get? I get when we go places, people, especially the African women, they kind of like to talk past me to my husband. In American culture, you know, that's a no-no. And no, my dear. Hi. Hello, how are you? I'm here. She, her, me. I am here. I'm speaking to you. So that's probably the thing that I've maybe experienced. But as far as anything really, no, we haven't experienced that at all. Is now with us. He is out and about. I hear his commentary. Fulani, I told you he's not shy. You just have to hit the right button and get him to talk about what he's passionate about.
Oh, we know.
We're learning. South Africans love alcohol. So question, you guys, with us having high school age children, if we're gonna be here, that means that they're probably going to be wanting to gain interest in South African children. We're saying children, but we mean, you know, significant others. So our gardener was trying to tell us about understanding the whole ceremonial things of stuff like that. Is there things we need to have a conversation one day about that, like that we need to be understanding, like, because I think our gardener was saying he was trying to buy some cows or something because he needed to make sure, or working, not saying we have to buy cows, but I'm just saying, is there things that we need to understand? Right. Because I think that's important again in us settling in and understanding home. We do have high school age children. And while we would love for them to go into university and things, they may decide, to have family paths or what have you. And that's something that we would definitely like to understand in regards to what that looks like, courting wise. I know one of our neighbors, he's here from the States. He married a South African woman. They have a son. And I believe their son has to go back to the States by the time he's 14 for 4 years or something like that, if he wants to keep his dual citizenship or something like that. So those are things that we definitely need to know about, right? Where are we? What were your experience with? Oh, the States, you have people that walk over you or try to anyway because they're white all the time. Not everybody, but it happens more than you would like to admit. Um, it really is. Hey, I misdescribed it somehow. I use fear as regards to phobia. Oh, okay. So you've been on Vigo. You did go on Vigo. Okay. The gospel competition. So what we wanted to do was bring some talent together and have a gospel competition on Vigo. Just kind of bringing some talent. We love music. I personally love music. Absolutely do. And so we were looking for people that do anything, whether it's praise, worship, gospel rap, poetry, dancing, psalmist, all of that. That is what we are liking and trying to put together. As well as I'd like to put together something live to have kind of some of these. Not so much a healing circle, but we used to do something in the States called the Sister Circle and the Brother Square, where the community of sisters would come together, the community of brothers would come together. They would talk, have koinonia, or come together and eat, and kind of have that community of healing. Would that be speaking to? Is that was what you guys said Ubuntu? Is that what that would be here? But very much so. Yes. It's all about propaganda to present Africa as extremely poor, living in huts because international charities get tax-free billions in donations. So there is incentive to present it as poor. Very true. Let's like the video, guys. Austin, thank you. Austin needs to be an administrator. These girls are ratchet. I tell you, they are brave, completely chatting up your man while you watch disrespectful.
They talking about
Some girls are ratchet like that. They are, they can be on there. But I told you, Vigo is a whole different, you got to kind of take the good and take away from the negative. When people talk to your husband, it's from a place of respect, usually. Greeting the man first is sort of normal. Although we are westernized, there's the traditional element here and there, life out loud. Okay. Of respect, as a Kagiso says. Yeah. Okay. Very much so. I think, for the most part, you get that, but there's been instances it's kind of Bigo-ish. It's like, no, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going to talk to him. And no, that's not going to work at all. You should try listening to Reverend Benjamin Dubé's Spirit of Praise, beautiful South African gospel music. Absolutely. We are definitely going to do that. So, guys, we are past our hour. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are probably going to stream. I think this 1:30-ish time seems good. I think we're going to do a stream in the evening to do a trial to give an idea of how that works for people. We seem to be right around about 40 to 50 people around this time of day, which is awesome. We also want to give people a time of coming in or checking in the evening. So I'm thinking maybe on next week, on Tuesday, we would do an evening session. I'm thinking maybe 4 o'clock, because of course I know that you guys probably want to get to say hi to the kids when they're home.
I would say 5.
So 5 Central Africa time. Okay, So let's say 5 o'clock. So we're going to stream live on Tuesday, the 9th at 5 p.m. Central Africa time. We'll also have some content coming in regards to the supermarkets we're working on, because we do want to get that information out. That's really important because people have to eat. And for those of you that have asked me what this is, because I keep forgetting, so these are called sister lots. This is actually what I used to do in the States. This was my hobby that I turned into a business. They're very small locks, if you will. They're very popular in the States. We had a quite lucrative business doing that. Mr. Gary has them too, but he has brother locks. It's a different kind of pattern. I actually do these. It's a class that you have to take in the States, which is quite expensive. A lot of people out here ask about them, but then they don't necessarily want to pay the pricing, because it's about what is it? 18,000 rand, something like that. Because it's tedious. They're very small, and this is my hair, but I've cut my hair probably like 4 or 5 times. It grows extremely well in this, and it's low maintenance. So for those of you that asked, that is what they are. And your sons will have to pay a bull or bride price when it's time to get married. Interesting tradition. Okay, got it. I'm definitely going to have to understand and read up on that. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining. We'll make sure that we have the comments to replay. Please, again, if you're looking to be a tour guide, we have a few spaces left for the first round here in general South Africa, Johannesburg, and the surrounding provinces. What I say provinces. You guys help me with that. I'm still getting it correctly, but kind of like those general areas within about an hour and a half to 2 hour radius of Bryanston or central Johannesburg. Also, if you do send us a message to inquire, you'll have to have an idea of where you would like for us to go. You'll have to kind of have an itinerary of what you want the day to look like, so we can properly plan for time and filming. Also, you'll have to supply a copy of your license, and you will be shared. It'll be an episode or like a preview that'll be set up for the community, because everybody's gonna know who you are, because you're not gonna get us. Okay, so for security measures. But also, you guys, we are at, okay, I think somebody, was it Austin? Austin asked us about becoming monetized, I guess, or being monetized. That wasn't a reason why we did the channel, but I guess that's like a big thing. From what I have read, we have 1,000 subscribers. I was just happy to have 1,000 subscribers, but you also have to have 4,000 hours of watch time, and we were at just about 3,700 a couple days ago. So we're just a couple hundred hours shy of watch time, but you guys can most certainly help us with that, because of course I can imagine if you become monetized, like YouTube, I guess, shows your videos more, because you guys just ate up the video with the kids, and YouTube recognized that and shared it. So things like these streams, these types of conversations we're having, sharing it, liking it, that is important. So right now there's 42 people in this room. There's only 28 likes. If we can get everybody to like the content, not just watch it or comment, that signals to YouTube that you're liking the content, and they will suggest it. Also, when you comment, that's why I make sure that I try to comment back to all of you, one, just because it's polite and I appreciate your conversation, because I learn from you. But it also helps to make our content better. It makes it richer, because we know what it is that you are interested in, what we're missing, what we're doing well. I'm not a professional at this, but and then it's a little different, especially trying to have, because I want him here with me doing this, and he's still in his mind trying to figure everything in the background and getting everything done. So we're definitely growing, but you can help us. Thank you so much. It's 30 likes already. We appreciate you. So yeah, so that will help us definitely to grow the channel. And what we are, I think what we were thinking about doing in addition to the tour guides, we want to kind of put together a little bit of a documentary type series showing things that are to be offered here for those that are leaving the US coming here from the South African perspective in regards to this level of love and acceptance and how we know it's real to us now because you guys say it all the time. We love you. We appreciate you being here. Welcome home. But that is not a reality yet for our brothers and sisters that may be considering coming or don't even know it's an option. So that's something that we do want to work on. And so any of you that are interested in being a part of that project, again, please reach out to us. It takes planning. We want to do everything in excellence. And too much is given, much is required, and we don't want it to be rushed. We want it to be, awesome and represent the beautiful country of South Africa well. So please contact us by email, theelisagary@gmail.com, Instagram, as well as Twitter. Cheers to my brother Tyrese Gary and his wife. We hope you enjoy your evening. Oh, thank you so much. When are you going to meet up with the real South Africa? I haven't had them reach out to us. We're new to this YouTube thing, so would we just reach out to them? I don't know how that would work. I guess you could send an email or what have you. That would be great. Keep on doing lives to get to the 4,000 hours. Oh, thank you. Okay. Great. Okay, guys. So we're at 1:30. We're going to sign off. Thank you so much for all the likes, and we're going to see you soon. Bye.